What's going on, guys? John Holder here from Tkinter.com, and in this video, we're going to look at combo boxes for Custom Tkinter and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to look at combo boxes for Custom Tkinter. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and be sure to grab your totally free PDF copy of my Tkinter Widget Quick Reference Guide book. This thing is awesome, over 150 pages with all the Tkinter widget attributes. Grab your free copy today. Just head over to tkinter.com/widget-book, enter your email address, and I'll send that right out to you. And while you're there, think about membership in tkinter.com. Get all my Tkinter courses, all my future courses for one low price. Use coupon code YouTube to get 30% off membership if you're interested. Okay, like I said, in this video, we're going to look at the combo box for Custom Tkinter. And it's just this box thing that you see here. We can click on a thing, click the button, and boom, it says red. If we want to change it to blue and click the button. So I'm going to show you how to use a button. I'll also show you how to just click on red and it turns red. We'll also look at just programmatically setting a combo box item, like clicking this button and boom, it's yellow. So look at all those things and more in this video. We'll also show you all the different ways to customize the look and feel of this. There's a lot of different things you could do with that in Custom Tkinter, and we'll hit all those things in this video. So let's head over to our code. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor and the Git Bash terminal as always. And as always, you can find a link to the code in the pinned comment section below, as well as a link to the playlist with all the other videos in this Custom Tkinter series. So check that out if you haven't so far. So I've got our basic Custom Tkinter starter code that we always have. I'm calling this file CTK_ComboBox. And let's just come down here and start out by creating a quick label at the top. So I'm going to call this my label. This is going to be a CustomTkinter.ctk label. We want to put it in root. We want the text to say, pick a color, like that. And while we're at it, let's set the font a little bigger just so it's easier to read. I'll set this to Helvetica and then like size 18, something like that. All right, that looks good. So then let's my_label.pack this guy. I'm going to give this a pad Y of 40 to really push it down the screen. So now let's create our combo box. I'm going to call this my_combo. And this is just going to equal a CustomTkinter.ctk combo box. And notice the C and the B and combo box are both capitalized, a little weird. And of course the C and the T and CTK are capitalized. So we want to put this in root and we want to give this a values of some variable. I'm going to call this colors. So let's come up here and create a Python list of the options that we want in our combo box. So I'm just going to pick red, green, and let's say blue. So of course you can have as many items as you want. You can have text, you can have numbers, you can have other lists, whatever. And we designate these by setting the values to that variable. Now you can also just take this and paste it right in here as well. But if you have a lot of options, that's obviously going to get clunky. It's just a better idea to separate this out into its own little Python list on its own line. So here, let's set the options for our combo box. And here, let's create combo box. Let's come down here in my_combo.pack, and let's give this a pad Y like 20 to push it down the screen a little bit. Now I'm going to save this and let's run it just to make sure that looks okay. Let's head back over to our terminal. I'm in my CTkinter.com directory, and let's run Python CTK_combobox.py. And oops, colors is not defined. What did we misspell? Colors. There we go. All right. So let's try this again. Clear the screen, run this guy. All right. So here we've got pick a color, and we've got our drop-down box. Now, when we click on these things, nothing actually happens. So how do we make it to where when we just click on this thing without even using a button, something happens? Well, to do that, I'm going to change this padding to 0 because there's already 40 of padding around the label. So, all right. So anyway, to make the combo box do something when you click on it, we can give this a command. And I'm going to call this color_picker, something like that. And this is a function. So we have to now create this function. So let's come up here to the top and let's define color_picker. Now we need to pass in something. I'm going to call this choice. When you run a command straight from the combo box, it's going to pass in an event. So we've talked about events in other videos. An event is like it sounds, is an event. When you click on something, when you drag the mouse, when you hit a button a certain way, double click, single click, that's an event. And by default, this combo box is going to throw off an event whenever you click on it. So we need to sort of designate that in this function here. So here, let's create another label down here. Let's create output label. And I'm just going to call this output underscore label. This is going to be a CustomTkinter.ctk label. And let's put it in root. And for now, let's have the text equal nothing. And let's also give this a font of like Helvetica, like size 18 to make it nice and big. And then let's output underscore label dot pack this guy, give it a pad Y like 20 to push it down screen. So we've got this output label. We can now do something with it. So whenever we click on something in the combo box, let's output whatever we've clicked on. So to do that, we come up here to our function, tab over, and let's output underscore label dot configure. And let's set the text equal to something. Well, what do we want to set it to? We want to set it to that choice. Remember, that's the event that got passed in. So just by clicking on this thing down here, it's going to pass in whatever you've clicked on. And we're calling it choice because we're making a choice in the drop-down box. And here we can just print out that choice. So let's go ahead and save this, head back over here, run this guy, see if that worked. So here we see pick a color. And if I click green, it outputs green. If I click blue, it outputs blue. So now we can get really fancy and actually change the color of that to the output that we selected. And to do that, we just come over to our label and we set the text underscore color to that same choice. So let's go ahead and save this. I don't know, it's just kind of a silly thing, but it's kind of fun. So now when we click green, boom, it outputs actual green color, blue and red. Very cool. You may want this. You may want a drop-down box that whenever you click on it, something happens, but likely not. Because usually you're going to have some form that you're filling out, name, address, zip code, email address, phone number, state, and then you're going to have a drop-down with all the states. When you select your state, you don't want the form to submit, right? You want to then finish filling out the form, click a button, and then it submits. So how do we do that? Well, that's a little bit different because here it passed the event right in. When we use a button, it won't pass that event. So we're going to have to account for that. So here I'm going to, let's change this to just like this. And well, let's just take this all out. So you take out your command from the combo box itself. And now underneath here, let's create a button. And I'm gonna call this my underscore button. This is gonna equal a CTK button. We wanna put it in root. We want the text to equal pick a color. And here we wanna give this a command equal, and let's create a different function for this. I'm gonna call this color underscore picker 2, right? Just to designate this differently here. So we also want to very quickly go my underscore button dot pack, put this on the screen. Let's give it a pad Y like 20, push it down the screen a little bit. Now let's come up here and create that function. And you'll notice this time we're not passing in an event because we're just running a button. We're not actually passing an event like we are when we click on the drop-down box, right? So how do we get whatever has been selected? Well, let me grab this guy and just print it out again. But instead of this being choice, this is going to be whatever our my combo box is, mycombo.get. And this is a function. So we can copy this and also put it right here. So this my underscore combo.get will get whatever you have selected in the drop-down box. And it's my combo because that's what we called our combo box, my underscore combo. So here, if we save this and go ahead and run it. Whoops. Oh, you know what? Typo. Let's see. Okay, here is supposed to be CustomTkinter.ctk button. Why didn't you tell me? It's the Tuesday after a 3-day weekend, so it's the Monday, Tuesday video. All kinds of errors. So let's select green. You'll notice when we pick green this time, nothing happens because we haven't clicked the button yet. Now when we click the button, boom, it says green. Blue, click the button, blue. Very cool. Now we can also just programmatically select something. Like here we've, dropped down and clicked red to select something. We can select something programmatically as well. So to do that, let's head back over here and let's create another button. Let's call this the yellow button. And I'm going to call this yellow underscore button. This is going to be a CustomTkinter.ctk button. We want to put it in root. We want the text to equal pick yellow. And let's give this a command of color underscore picker underscore yellow. And we don't have this function yet. We'll create it in just a second. Before we do that, let's yellow underscore button dot pack this guy, give it a pad Y of 20, push down screen a little bit. All right. And then let's come up here and define our color picker function. And I'm just going to copy this whole thing again and paste it in there. We still want to get something, but this time, instead of getting whatever we've selected, we want to set something as already having been selected, right? So to do that, let's say set the combo box option. Let's go my underscore combo dot set, and then just pass in whatever we want. So we want yellow. Now you'll remember up here, or down here, I suppose, we don't have yellow in this option. So we're setting it to something that's not even an option, but we can do that. So let's go ahead and save this, head back over here, run this guy again. And if we pick yellow, boom, it outputs yellow. And you'll notice up here, it says yellow, even though that wasn't even an option. And in fact, when we click on the dropdown, yellow still isn't in the option because we haven't actually added it as an option. We've just set it as yellow, right? So when we click green, it turns back to green. We can then pop it back to yellow. So very cool. That's the basic functionality of the combo box. Very easy to use, very cool. Now for the rest of the video, let's talk about customizing this, making it look different. This looks a little clunky to my mind, this kind of bold border here. We can change all of these things. We can change the size, the color, the font, the hover stuff here. We can make it round instead of square. All the things like we talked about in the last video for the checkbox, we can do basically for the combo box. So let's head over here and let's come down here to our combo box. And let's start out by changing, of course, the height and the width. So we do that just with height and width. And let's set this to 200 by 50 or something like that, whatever. Come back over here, run this guy. And whoa, that is terrible. I think we did that the opposite way I wanted to do it. Let's go. Yeah, the height, let's set the height to 50 and the width to 200. That's probably a better idea. It's Tuesday, Monday. What can I say? And now we have a nice big combo box. Now you notice the font sizes haven't changed. Even though the box is bigger, those sizes haven't changed. So we could change those if we wanted to. We could just come here and go font equals and set this to like Helvetica. And change the size to like 18, something like that. Save this guy, run it. Now the text here is bigger, but the drop-down text isn't any bigger. We can change the drop-down text size as well. And that's just going to be drop-down underscore font. And we can set that equal to anything we want. I'm just going to copy and paste this guy here. Save this, head back over here, run it again. Now our regular font is 18 and our drop-down font is 18. And this box is sort of resized appropriately, so that's cool. What else can we do? Well, we can change the sort of look of the thing. Instead of making it a box, we can make it sort of a circular, elliptical looking sort of thing by changing the corner underscore radius. And we can set that equal to 50. The bigger the number, the more rounded it's going to be. So we go ahead and save this. Head back over here, run this guy again. Now we've got a nice rounded drop-down box. That's kind of cool. The actual drop-down is still square. You can't really change that, I don't think. Wouldn't it be cool if you could, though? Let's try drop-down underscore corner underscore radius. There's no way this is going to work, but wouldn't it be cool if it did? Let's run this guy. No. Okay, well, we can always dream. All right, what else can we do? Well, we could change the border width. Well, let's go border underscore width. And let's set this equal to 100, make it really big and horrible looking. Actually, first, let's clear the screen. And whoa, that is just way too much, as of course it would be. Let's change this to, I don't know, 20. How about that? Whew, that is not great, but you get the idea, the border width. I would probably change that back down to, I don't know, let's just go 2, see how that looks. Save this and run it. All right, much nicer. What else can we do? Well, we can change the border underscore color. Set that equal to, let's say, red. As always with all the colors, you can use your hex color codes. So, whatever red is, I don't know offhand, or you could just use the word red. So go ahead and save this, head back over here, run this guy. Now our border is red, but our button is not. So that's a little wonky. We can change the button color if we want. And to do that, we call button underscore color. Let's put it as red as well. So it, kind of looks the same as the border. I think that's probably a good idea. Very nice, right? So now we've got a red border and a red button. When we hover over this, it changes to gray. We might want to change that hover color. To do that, we just call the button underscore hover underscore color. And let's set that equal to green or something just horrific. My golden rule, make things as ugly as possible in these videos. So now when we hover over this, it's green. That's cool. Well, we can change the DropDown underscore hover underscore color. Let's set that equal to green as well. Save this guy, come back over here, run it. So when we click this, it drops down and it's still gray or silver or whatever color that is. But when we hover, boom, each item is this hover color. What else we got? Oh, we're just getting started. We can also change the DropDown underscore FG underscore color. Now, even though this is foreground color, it's actually the background color, but they just call it foreground color. So save this and run it. So now when we drop down, it's blue foreground or background. Pretty heinous, right? All right, so that's how you do that. We can change the drop-down text color. We can go drop-down underscore text underscore color. Set that equal to, I don't know, orange. That's pretty ugly, I think. So now when we click this guy, red, green, and blue are in orange colored. All right. We can change the font of this guy here too. While we're at it, let's just go text underscore color. Set that equal to purple. All right. Because why not? Go ahead and save this, head back over here, run it again. Whoa, that's not even readable. You'll notice this is purple and also the little caret mark in the button here. That's also purple. That's just terrible. Let's go ahead and change that just because that makes my teeth hurt. Let's just change this to silver. Right. Okay, what else can we do? We can always set the hover to false if we don't like all this hover nonsense. Come back over here, run this guy. Now, when I hover over this, it doesn't change color, but it does change color right here. If you didn't want this to change color hover-wise here, you could just set the hover color to whatever the foreground color is, and then you wouldn't even notice it was changing colors. That's one little hack to get rid of that hoverness, if possible. So that's cool. I kind of like the ability to hover, so I'm going to set this equal to true, which is the default. Finally, we can also justify this guy. So the text. So if we want this to say justify right, if we save this, it's going to be the text on the actual button itself. You'll see now it's over here on the right, which is fairly terrible looking. We could also change this to left if we want. We save this and run it. It looks sort of centered, but this is actually the left because since we've changed the radius, it's kind of tinkered with the side here, but that's left. But you can also do, I think default is just center. So we'll go ahead and change this to center. Save this, run this guy just to make sure that looks okay. And there we got center. Cool. Now, this I'll mention, but this is always the same with all widgets. You can change the state to disabled if you want, or normal is the default. Save this guy. If we run this, then the whole thing's just not going to work at all. It's just disabled. You can see you can't even read anything. You can't click on it. I'm clicking on it right now. Nothing's happening. You can still click this to, oh, no, you can't. Once it's disabled, you can't set it. Look at that. We learned something new today, right? Same thing with pick a color. You can't do anything when it's disabled. We're getting all kinds of angry errors in our terminal. So I would set this to normal and you're good to go. So that's the ComboBox. Very cool. Lots of customization, really easy to use. And that's really all there is to it. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. And be sure to grab your totally free PDF copy of my Tkinter Widget Quick Reference Guidebook. This thing is awesome, over 150 pages with all the Tkinter widget attributes. Get your free copy today. Just head over to tkinter.com/widget-book. Enter your email address and I'll send that right out to you. And while you're there, think about membership in tkinter.com. You get all my Tkinter courses, all my future courses for one low price. Use coupon code YouTube to get 30% off membership if you're interested. My name is John Elder from tkinter.com and I'll see you in the next video.